Hello, everyone. It's already April 5, 2021. It's just after Holy Week. And for everyone who's watching, please like, subscribe, and share this to your friends. We do this every day, Philippine market update. So let's start. All right. So the Philippine markets today are up 50 points, 6,495. We just finished our COVID. Actually, we still are in under COVID ECQ. So the quarantine is still there, and you could see that most businesses continue to suffer. It's a little bit of a breather what's happening in the market, but the index value continues to be very low, which suggests that the majority of the market is still in a bearish state. Your market value turnover is 4.64 billion pesos. You've got 117 advancers, 85 decliners. Over the past week, we've registered at least 15,000 cases a day, registering over 100 cases of deaths. So we would like to actually consider just giving everyone another advice to really appreciate all of the family and loved ones that you've got, because you never know if it's their last. So those are very important things to do. Your true wealth is, of course, your family. Now, your as you could see in the Philippine market, you continue to see some winners, but your winners are mostly heavily on the stable side. So PLDT, MPI, 4% up for the day. Let's try to read a few things in the index movers. We'll read about it. But you could see that the value trade in the Philippine market is very low, which suggests that most of the market's cash is actually sidelined. Your SM is 984, PLDT is 1270, your BPI is 83, Ayala Corp is 750, Aboitiz Equity Ventures 35.5, Jollibee 181.6, MPI 389, Ayala Land 34.5, Robinson's Land 18.4, ICT 122, GT Cap 533, Metrobank 4475, AGI 10.86, Meralco 274.6, URC 133.5, DMCI 5.61, Mega World 3.6, Aboitiz Power 23.65, Bloomberry 7, Emperador 10.26, First Gen 30 bucks, Security Bank 120, Luciatan Group 1338, Pure Gold 38.7, San Miguel Corporation 117, Robinson's Retail back at 55, BDO 101, Globe 1840, JG Summit 58.9, SM Prime 34.5. Amongst the index names today, the only interesting company in my view that is worth buying in or picking in would be Globe here at about 1840. However, you could see that the market sentiment is very low, which suggests that it could be lower, say 1800 in the next coming days. But that one is interesting from a dividend standpoint because it does pay about at least 90 pesos or 5% yield every single year. All right, so let's take a look at your stats. Top traded names in the Philippine market, you've got Land, Asen, Merrimart, PHES. Those are your top traded names with about 28% increase on your Land, 5% increase on your Asen, slight unchanged for your Merrimart after last week's movement, and PHES, which is up 19% today. So you are seeing that the Philippine market continues to trade the non-speculative names, with Dito APL PRMX also rising. PRMX is now up 30% from 2.1 to 2.75. We noticed that PRMX was really under Bull's control, and this is one of the things that's been happening. You can see that Dito and APL are slightly unchanged. Some people are picking it up despite its strong drop of about 50% from its peak. All right, so your URC and Globe, Ayala Land, Jollibee, Pure Gold, PLDT are just slightly unchanged, almost unchanged. Your unlike your PLDT, 4% up. PLDT 1270. BSC is up 7% from 86 cents to 92 cents. You are seeing that the Philippine market continues to trade slightly on a very thin volume. I'd say very thin volume, and very low yeah, no strong convictions. We'll see about the top gainers though. For Land, Ascent, MM, and FES, we'll try to understand what's happening with the biggest gainers. So your biggest gainers are, of course, Primex, Land, and FES. So we'll probably just go into checking which of the news bits happening on Primex, Land, and PHES are triggering this huge momentum for these three names. All right, so let's understand it. Let's try to understand it in our Instagrams. Let's see whether there's some disclosures on these names. So done, dollar Primex. Okay, we'll close this first. Primex. Okay. So you're seeing a lot of buyers on Primex, and that came from 1.4 now to 2.7. Just this month, you could see that since about March 19, now hitting April 5, already hitting almost 100% move. So we argued that a couple of days ago, we were seeing that strong momentum already for Primex, and it looks like this is just a continuation format. So this is still a range trade so far. You are seeing the following resistances. Strong resistance here about 3.99 and some resistances further here about 3.5. So although it is a very strong movement, do note that the buyers perhaps have an entry point below 2.2. So there are some buyers, of course, who probably got in earlier here about 175. So lots of buy signals here at these levels. 175 and 225, and very strong resistances on your 3.5 and 4. As for disclosures, we actually tried, we'll try to read the news material informations and transactions for Primex Corporation. In a meeting, they decided to simply vote is set at April 30, 2021. So it was an annual stockholders meeting that triggered the move on your Primex. And what did they actually vote upon? Amendments. Let's read it. Read more. In this meeting, they approved and authorized to enter an agreement with third-party corporations for a sale of corporate assets like properties, equities, and investments. So basically, they agreed to sell a lot of their properties outside their market. So it's more of a land sale that people are probably pricing in on these movements. Okay, so the movement is basically trying to unlock all the value that's in the inherent properties that they own. So we'll see whether we can actually target near 350 to 4. But that is something that is a likely target with short-term buyers here about 2.25 and 1.5 for Primex. Let's try to understand as well what's happening with land and FES. City land developers have been rising since last couple of days. You're seeing this is the third day for city land. You're seeing from technically 80 cents here. From the first break here, about 80 cents, it has been going up. This has gone 4x or almost 400% in less than a single month. We argue that while we do not know the necessary movements, why, it should be noted that these trends could actually be a profit taking already after a strong move in a short span of time. So in a single month, a 400% move, while it could be warranted with some fundamentals that we do not understand, it's very tricky to assume that this will continue higher. So in the short term, after this very strong movement, I'd suggest that people have to partially be taking profit, especially after three very strong candles. So no matter whether it rises to about 4 pesos or 5 pesos, city land seems to be very expensive, or at least in a short-term perspective only. Short-term perspective, this looks to be more of a very strong move, but probably take profits on it. FES, Philippine State Corporations, very strong movements as well. You could see that from 40 cents rally to as much as 80 cents or a 100% move. We are seeing that stocks like these could probably be unsustainable because of the liquidity being absent now and then. So as it rallies from 80 cents to 96 cents, these should be taken as an objective to take profits as it goes higher. So I think like that's all that we could see in the Philippine markets for now. Still a very low volume. So those are only the few names that we can suggest in our comments for the Philippine markets. So there you go. Just wanted to invite everyone to watch our global market updates where we have more buying opportunities and more global awesome 10x companies. Thank you very much, and that's it for today. Bye bye.